right, next subject. A look at fleet carriers as we approach a year since the product dropped. Fleet carriers dropped in June of 2020. So that was, as of next month, a year ago. Now, I have long been a champion of fleet carriers when others were hating them. And I'll say this, fleet carriers are really good. If you wanted to make them great, here's what I would do. And I know people are going to say like, we're on Odyssey, you're whatever. I think it's very important for Frontier to look at the products that they've released in the past and not just say, we've released this, now we cut it off, now we move to the next thing and forget it forever. I think it's important that Frontier takes small time to make little tweaks on stuff that they've done in the past instead of drop it and forget it, so that they can turn a good product to a great product. So here's what I would like to see. Number one, the ability to schedule multi-jumps. Number two, the ability for the fuel crew that I pay millions of credits a week to actually manage the fuel, either automated or at my remote direction. Even if I have to tell them to do it, let me do it from wherever I'm at. Don't make me go there and load, sit on it with a cutter on the pad and move stuff. That's just dumb. Number three, the ability for my fleet carrier to recognize me as the owner and give me a special landing pad and dialogue. Don't greet me with watch your speed when I'm the owner of this thing. I pay your salary. Say, welcome home, Commander. Your special pad 07 is waiting for you. Or make it a large pad. That way, no matter what ship I'm in, you can just direct it to the same one and save on resources, development resources, whatever. The ability for more livery options, such as a special kit or paint job for high ranks. I think that the higher ranks, you get your top rank for the feds and the imps at, Duke and Rear Admiral, like Vice Admiral something. There's 2 ranks above that. Please allow for something to happen with those. Also, add the ability for owners to sacrifice some storage to access extra module slots. Say, 100 tons adds 100 extra module slots, and it's expandable up to as many tons as I want to go. How many of us owners, fleet carrier owners out there would say, oh, I will gladly give up an extra 300 tons for an extra 300 module slots? Add the ability, number 6, add the ability for a fleet carrier owner to put up his own money to generate missions such as fetch me X or go run Y cargo to Z location. Included in this, the ability to pay commanders to resupply your goods. Let a commander, if you're a DSSA owner and you out there have modules and shit at the ass end of the galaxy for people, let me create a mission that somebody can take. Like if you go to Jameson's or you go to a special location, they'll give you, these are fleet carrier locations outside of the bubble that have these missions. And hey, you need a ship that holds 200 tons of cargo. And if you could run it out to this location, this guy's going to give you X money to do that. Let me resupply without having to move the fleet carrier. Number 7, let the owner sell exact the ships and modules that they want. No more forced to buy packs nonsense. And if you do buy packs, give me a greatly reduced wholesale price, because that's how sales work. You don't open up a car dealership and sell the cars for exactly what you bought them for. That's just dumb. Get a major discount from the car dealer factory to sell their cars, and then you sell it at the sticker price and you make a good profit. Number 8, allow for fleet carriers to actually support all the roles they list in their tasks. For example, you can set your ship to be an anti-Xeno fleet carrier. You still have no ability to sell anti-Xeno modules. This is a grievous oversight that should be addressed. Number 9, add a couple of set piece locations upon Odyssey drop or even after. And hell, if you have to, half-ass it. If you must, and steal the one big ass Concourse design philosophy from stations, and instead of the shops and the bar, make it a bridge where the bridge, the people on the bridge can view the jump sequence. A briefing room, and then the various services you have of your fleet carrier. For example, Universal Cartographics office, a bounty turn-in office, a shipyard, etc. Also, add a private captain's quarters where they can have a trophy room or a player housing room, and player-controlled message board where you can communicate with people and coordinate things on your fleet carrier. Do these, and fleet carriers will go from a good enough product to a great product with so little. Now, yes, the last thing there requires a lot of effort to do, put locations, set piece locations in there. But everything else in there that I listed, 1 through 8, require very little, programming, development, for a very massive return on your investment. Down to Earth, it's your turn to go first. What do you think on looking at fleet carriers a year in?
My main thing is, of course, fuel would be really nice if that got an overhaul, so we can manage that in a more sensible way. Like, yeah, I agree. Having to be sitting on your own carrier and also transfer fuel, or have a buddy sitting there buying it off the market in order to put it into the fuel tank is well, it's a little dumb. Other of the small like creature comforts, not creature, but like quality of life things. Yeah, having a custom ATC voice, say "Welcome back" or "Welcome home, Commander." We reserve your favorite spot for you or something like that.
Yes,
really nice when you come in. These are small things, and the thing is something Frontier can relatively easily do if they wanted to. But again, it needs to be prioritized. I did miss the messaging board, or maybe even the problem is when you begin to do messaging boards on fleet carriers, then people can post all kinds of like stuff that probably shouldn't be in Elite.
You know what though? But they can already post that same stuff in system chat. So make a function where people can report it and say, hey, this guy just said something racist, or this guy just, I don't know, is screaming curse words. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, it's fair enough. There's already a profanity filter in game, and that maybe should be able to catch a lot of it. Then as you post, maybe
there you go.
Then it would probably block those as well. Stuff like that, you could get around a lot of it. So that would be nice to have. It's just a message of the day kind of thing. So you would have a little message people could read with like your jump schedule or something like that would be nice. But I think for looking forward for where fleet carriers were always weird, right? Because fleet carriers were supposed to be the thing that made squadrons make sense. Without fleet carriers in their original format, squadrons doesn't really make a lot of sense in Elite. I mean, you get a little ticker next to your name, and you get a chat that very few people use,
and the ability to link bookmarks, and that's it.
And you can share bookmarks. That's it. So it's basically a bookmark sharing service. That is what it is. And it was supposed to be fleet carriers being the big thing that made squadrons make sense. And then because of community feedback, Frontier changed to be a personal fleet carrier and not a squadron fleet carrier, and then kind of left squadrons in this weird place. I think going forward, the things I would really like to see for Odyssey would be some kind of concourse like we have on the stations. It could be a smaller place, but a bit like, hey, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna visit Kai's fleet carrier. I just want to take a quick pop in and I want to see his lobby, basically like a room. And you can decorate it with that, and you can buy decorations you can put in your fleet carrier room, lobby, whatever, for arcs. Yes, I would throw like thousands of arcs at Frontier's way if I could buy, hey, I wanted this little plant in the corner, and then I want a screen here with some whatever, like that, and you could sit and you could post those up, and it didn't have to be like full-on base building where I could manually place it. It could just be a bit like we have with the bobbleheads on the dashboard, where there's like fixed positions, and in each fixed position you can put a thing, and then make like, I don't know, 20, 30 fixed positions around, say, oh, there could be a rock here, and there could be floor decoration here, there could be a what do I know, a wall decoration there, and there could be like wall colors, that kind of thing, just so you can personalize it, right?
Or your triple elite trophy,
the big decal, on the wall. So you have your triple elite decal, or you have your Federation or your Empire decal, or your Anticino decal, depending on what it does. I think it would be really cool, and it would make a social place for people to meet up when they are doing group events focused around the fleet carrier. And there's the whole, like a window so you could overlook the landing pads would also be really cool. So you could sit up there and you could watch your friends come and go on the fleet carrier. Nice. And then doing jumps. Yes, you would. Then the fleet carrier would go, we need to close the shutters for the window so you can't look outside, because I can't see why else we wouldn't be able to look outside while we're doing the jump. I think because that animation just doesn't exist, and that's fair. And if they don't want to make that animation, just have automatic shutters to just close the windows. You can't look out, and you're just stuck in this room where you can sit and you can look, and then you can be there and have it as a little social space on your fleet carrier. I mean, I love doing these community trips where we take exploration trips on a fleet carrier, and every time we do a stop, you see like all the pads just light up, and everybody comes out in their little ships and they fly around the fleet carrier, just to say hello to each other out in space. And if they could do the same thing but in a social space, I think that would be great.
Absolutely. And as I see Commander Maskimi ECC in the chat say, bonjour, Commander. For sure, include also a office for the fleet carriers for where we can turn in our Vista Genomics. That would be necessary for explorers. Very, very important.
That's a no-brainer. That has to be a Vista Genomics module. Whether that should be included in the cartographic data, so there's like an exploration module, well, you could argue that would be fair. But at the very least, yes, there absolutely has to be a place where people can hand in their genomics data.
I would like to get rid of my previous answer. Do not add a Vista Genomics Center. I would like to steal Astro's answer, which was better, and say, add Vista Genomics to the Universal Cartographics so that you only pay for it once and get them both. You're a smart man.
If they have to increase the upkeep for it a little bit, okay, so be it. I mean, if you're fitting Universal Cartographics, you are most likely going to fit Vista Genomics as well. Unless, of course, they would have to split it, wouldn't they? Because what about all the people who are not buying Odyssey? Why are they paying extra for module?
You don't. You just put it in the Universal Cartographics office and you pay no extra.
Yeah, that would work too. To be honest, that however they want to slice and dice that, I would leave that up to Frontier. But some way of getting rid of that data out when you're out and about has to happen.
Go ahead.
But it opens up an interesting question, because what about all the fleet carriers that are now out in the middle of nowhere?
If you have the Universal Cartographics, you just get the new extra little side office. They do both.
That would solve it, yeah. But otherwise, you would have. Otherwise, all the fleet carriers, the whole DSSA, all the carriers in the Deep Space Support Array would have to come back to an administration system to refit.
I would suggest this, that Frontier be kind, and from this point forward, whether it's the Vista Genomics or 5 years from now, they add a new module that does whatever. I would say from this point forward, whenever Frontier adds a new module to the game, they should allow all fleet carriers upon launch of the new service, just to give them a one-time option to say, do you want to add this right now? We will add it, no matter where you're at. I think that's very charitable. And I think that Frontier is known for their good customer service. And I think that this would be a perfect representation of that. Tweaked, your thoughts on fleet carriers?
Yeah, I'm with you. I pretty much think they're pretty good now, but if you want to make them great, you guys named off a lot of ways to do it. I would add the multi-jumps. I should be able to either tell my NPC pilot, commanders, whoever they are on the fleet carrier, that I want to go to Colonia, and as long as I have enough tritium on board to do it, they can get me there while I'm at work the next day or something, or in the next couple of days, however long it's going to take. Or if I have a couple other guys with me from OPIX and we're going on a deep space exploration, if I'm at work, I should be able to grant my squad mates permission to set jumps to be able to go places and allow them to jump while I'm not there so that we can make progress on our trip. I also think a bridge of some kind. I want to see my all these people that I pay money to do their jobs. I want to see them walking around doing their jobs. I want to see my NPC pilot hanging out on my fleet carrier.
Hell yeah.
I absolutely think there needs to be a bridge so we can see a jump, and I am totally down with some type of spot, whether it be a captain's cabin or a general, as somebody said in chat, a food court, where if we're all going on a trip and we're just jumping, we can all go down into the concourse and hang out together and, I don't know, play space cards or something. Who knows? But
hell yeah.
Get hammered at the bar.
As they,
yeah, absolutely.
So in the Marines, we call the chow hall the scarf and barf, and they quite often there's a sign where it says "Eat it now, taste it later." Yes, absolutely. We need chow halls on our fleet carriers, and the ability to play poker. Why not? Does anybody have anything else on fleet carriers before we move on?
I do have one other thing that I think is really missing right now is why can I not tell when there's a strange commander parked on my fleet carrier before I jump? I should be able to go to a list somewhere and it'll tell me all of your ships are here and these 3 commanders are on board right now, and go, oh, I might not want to jump 12,000 light years away then because they might not want to go there. That would solve a lot of problems.
And going back to the whole idea of a message board, you could have a message board saying, hey guys, we're leaving here on Friday at 8 o'clock. We're going to be jumping 10,000 light years away. If you don't want to go there, then get off here. Don't be here on Friday at 10 o'clock.
Very quick little funny story that I actually had a guy wrote to me. I was moving my fleet carrier out to the crystal shards, and somebody wrote to me and said, when is the North Star going to be the bubble again? Because someone apparently moved in on North Star after the Colonia trip.
Yeah.
Then I moved it 1,500 light years outside the bubble, and they were suddenly stuck out there.
But Control, I see you've got a little message in the chat. I think you went out of your way to get an all-female crew, didn't you? I think Control wants to have like a ship's ship's pool where he can sit there in a chaise lounge and watch his crew in bikinis run around.
I like the greeting when I come home after a long mission, and I just want to, hey, Commander, you got your pad. And I opted in and got an all-female crew. All is purple. My ship is purple. And it's just awesome.
Well, you can enjoy that greeting, and then you can download Subverse, and you can get the sort of more extended greeting.
No, but still, hey, I would like to have this thing that someone said, like, hey, owner or commander, get your pad here, the VIP pad. It's my fucking FC. I paid a lot, and I grinded a lot. So, hey, give me that benefit just getting that small thing.